Alright guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you the stuff that Eric and I won at the auction. So this was the last auction footage that you saw. Anytime that we go to the auction, I don't ever go in thinking I'm going to win anything. So when I do win something at the price that I'm willing to pay for it to resell, it's just very exciting because some things sell for just insane amounts of money, and then other things I feel like I get at a next to nothing price, which I kind of refer to as like flying under the radar type of things. So I'm super excited about the stuff that I won. I didn't win a ton of stuff at this auction, but I'm really happy with what I did win. So we're gonna go through everything and I'll let you guys know what I purchased the item for. So the first thing I have is this ceramic owl clock. I just fell in love with this. Some things that I pick up are just things that I'm drawn to because I like them. You get what I'm saying? So this here I had to have because I loved it. It is ceramic. It's definitely older. It has a made in Japan sticker here on the back, and it runs off of a battery. To me, it kind of gave me those Merry Mushroom vibes. I mean, I know it's an owl, but it's still in the same type of coloring with that brown and orange. So I decided to bid on him, and I won him for a price of just $2. I listed him up as a buy it now for $39.99. I did see one other listing for around that price, and theirs I don't think was in working condition, and this one does work. So, you know, people really like owls and stuff like that, so I'm hoping it goes at some point. But again, that was just something that I kind of fell in love with, so I had to bid on it. So there was, if you guys watched the auction footage, you saw that it was a lot of vintage Halloween items that were there. I did end up winning a couple of them. A lot of them sold for way more than what I was willing to spend on them. But I did win some of them. So the first thing that I have here is this pumpkin light. So this is like a stained glass Tiffany style light. It's not actually Tiffany brand, but it does have that stained glass look to it. It's very cute. It lights up beautifully, and these actually sell pretty decently. I won the light at a bid of $22.50 I have on here, which is kind of an odd price. We'll just say $23. Let's just make it $23. Now this light they put with this candle. So I won these together, but I was mainly just interested in the lamp here. So I did list this as a buy it now for $89.99, and they do sell for around that price point. I like to bid on pretty much anytime I see a lamp that looks like this stained glass look. I like to bid on them because they do tend to sell on the higher side. However, at auctions, I rarely can win them at a decent price. So I was happy to get this one for, you know, around the $20 price point. So as I said, it came with this pumpkin candle, and I didn't realize that this was a vintage item. I didn't pick it up and look at the bottom. I just kind of assumed it was, you know, a newer type of candle. So it is double-sided. It has like a jack-o'-lantern look, and it still has a lot of the candle left inside of it, and it's not all sooty or anything like that. It's very clean, and it is actually vintage, and you can tell by the sticker on the bottom. It's called the Goblin Light, a Will Embalmer candle. It was originally 79 cents. So I thought that was really awesome. So this was, to me, kind of like a freebie since I was only really bidding on it for the pumpkin light. So the candle I actually ended up putting up as a buy it now for $39.99, surprisingly. These candles were selling pretty decently, and looking at the other ones listed, a lot of them, there either wasn't a candle left in, or they were really black and sooty from burning, and this one is just absolutely pristine in my opinion. So that came with the pumpkin lamp. The next item actually already sold, so I'm going to post up a screenshot of it. This was a vintage owl plastic blow mold by Union Products. The owl is actually really rare and hard to find and was selling at a very decent price. I ended up winning the blow mold for $60, and I listed it as a buy it now for $137.99, and it did sell, and it went to a subscriber, so I'm so excited. I hope that she loves it. It lit up very beautifully, and I really wanted to keep that one as well, but I'm so happy that it sold, and very, very quickly. So we all know blow molds can sell really well, and you know that one is a harder to find one. I was seeing there were people that had the same blow mold, but it was still sealed in its original packaging, and those were selling for like $200+. So I thought that was a really awesome score, because it's hard to win holiday related items at the auction because there are people there specifically there for the holiday stuff all the time. So to win some of the pieces is super exciting to me, because a lot of the people will pay whatever they have to pay to win the items, regardless if they're, you know, not going to make much more for them reselling. It's like they just want to buy them to have them kind of thing. So next we have this, I wasn't quite sure about, and I paid a decent amount. I won a bunch of these peanut butter glasses. So these ones are the Pansies. They have pansies all around. Very, very cute, very pretty. I won a whole tray of them, and they auctioned these off by the piece. So at the winning bid, you could take 1, 2, however many you wanted, or all of them. So I ended up taking all of them. I think there were 15, I want to say, all together, and I won them. My winning bid was $52. So not $52 a piece, but for the whole tray, I paid $52 for them. Now I was seeing them sell decently, especially as lots, so that's what I wanted to do with mine. However, with the amount, it was an odd number, so I had to list one just singly, but just singly I saw they were selling as well. So I listed up lots of 4 for a buy it now of $49.99, and then the single one I listed as a buy it now for $13.99. So I'm not quite sure how long these are going to sit and that kind of thing. That was I've never sold peanut butter glasses before, and some of the things that I do win at the auction are things that, you know, I've never really dabbled in, so I'm not quite sure, you know, how fast the stuff will sell and that kind of thing. Now, Eric and I just went to another auction this past week, and he won a bunch of old cast iron candy molds, or chocolate molds, they call them, and those were kind of like we've never purchased them before to resell, but we knew that some of them could sell really well. And he already sold one for like a crazy amount of money. So, you know, we go in researching a lot of the stuff, obviously, before we buy it. And some things are just very, very surprising when it comes to, you know, selling them. So yeah, I'm not quite sure about the peanut butter glasses, but we're gonna try. We're just gonna try. Same way with this thing. This was interesting, and this is why I love going to auctions and researching and learning about stuff that I had no clue about. So I saw this little thing, and in the footage video, you probably heard me say, like, maybe it was just like a miniature version of like a cage of some sort, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. Now, I did some research on it. This was before I was bidding on it. So come to find out, this is like an antique canary cage. and they would take this cage into a coal mine with a live canary bird inside. There was like a place for food, and there's even like a water crock in there for the bird. So the miners would take a live canary down into the mines with them, and if there were any like gases, like hazardous gases, it would, the bird could detect it before a miner could, obviously. So the bird would die essentially, and that would warn the miners that, you know, they had to get out quickly because there were deadly gases in the mine. So it upsets me because I love animals, so I hate to think that potentially a bird like passed away in this here cage, but at the same time it's such a unique and cool piece of history. So I had to have it, and these were selling really high on eBay. So I don't think a lot of people knew what it was. I know when I won it, there were some people around me asking me what it was, but at the time I wasn't even sure myself. I just knew it had something to do with canaries and miners, but I didn't know like the whole story behind it all. So I won this cage for a bid of just $10. So I thought that was still a really good deal, and I listed it on auction with a starting price of $69.99. I don't know if I will get a bid on it right away, so I may have to relist, but it did seem like these were selling for around that price or even more than the $69.99 that I have mine listed for. So we'll see, but I thought that was just a really cool piece of history. And if you guys didn't know about any of that, maybe you learned a little something from this video. So, or you already knew and you're like, Michelle, how did you not know that? Okay, so next we have, oh my goodness, this thing is so awesome. I won that black stuffed plush cat. You see its little rhinestone eyes. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. This here was, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to describe this? This cat is called Boo Kitty. Some of you guys might recognize her. She was popular being shown on the Laverne and Shirley show. I've never actually watched Laverne and Shirley, so I didn't know that this cat was called Boo Kitty or anything like that until I did my research. So these plush cats, these Boo Kitty plush cats, they are listed really high on eBay. I think someone has one listed for like $1,000, which I think is insane. And then, you know, upwards of, you know, a couple $100 basically. So this cat is by a company called Dollcraft Novelty Company is what the tag says. She isn't in like pristine condition. She does have some issues. Like her ears are, you know, not in the best shape, and she does have this hole right here on her stomach, but she's so cute, and they had her with the Halloween stuff. I mean, she is a black cat. I absolutely love this thing. I love it. I love cats, and I love vintage stuffed plush. So I won her for a price of just $5. Just $5. So I don't know, you know, if other people realized of the Laverne and Shirley connection or not. I'm assuming not, since I only won her for $5. I listed her for a buy it now of $799. I did see one listed for $899. So I priced mine slightly lower than that. I don't know if I will ever get that much for her, but like I said, there's other people that have this listed for like $1,000. So maybe we're all just crazy, but we'll see if she would go at some point in time. But I had to have her, and for $5, that's like nothing basically. Okay, next thing I have is this dish here, and this is a really pretty double-sided bird dish. There's a bird on either side, kind of looks like its wings are spread. This came on a tray with a couple other pieces, and I'll show you those pieces as well. Now this does glow under black light really, really beautifully. Now when I looked this up, people had this listed as Fenton. I didn't necessarily believe that myself because there is no markings on it whatsoever to me that would say that it's Fenton, but that's what everyone else was saying in their listing, so that's what I listed. I listed mine as that as well. I did have someone message me like letting me know that it wasn't, so I might have to take that out of my title just in case someone would win it and, you know, say like, oh, this isn't Fenton, and do like an INAD type of thing. But I just kind of went with like what other people were doing type of thing. So anyway, it's not Fenton, but it still was selling. I won the tray that had this and two other pieces on it. I believe it was two other pieces. Yeah, two other pieces on there. For $10 I spent altogether. So this one here I have listed as a buy it now for $39.99. Again, like I said, this glows absolutely beautifully. So that's why I was interested in that particularly. So also on the same tray, there was this planter here of a Palamino horse. Just looks like this, and it is by Inarco, Japan. So he's in really nice condition, very cute horse head planter. And I listed him for a buy it now of $29.99. And then the last thing that was on that tray with the birds was this pink depression glass little three-toed bowl. So I listed this as a buy it now for $19.99. So basically the horse head and this bowl were kind of like the freebies. It's not necessarily what I wanted off the tray. I just wanted the bird dish, but I won them all for a bid of $10. All right, so the last thing that I have to share was probably the most expensive item, and I don't mean I paid the most for it, but it's selling for the most. Aside from the cat, I should say, since the cat hasn't sold yet, but this next item already has a bid. So it was this piece here. When I saw this, I just fell in love with it. I love the look of it. It had that mid-century modern look for sure, and we all know how hot that is. So I just wanted it because I liked the look of it. I couldn't find any information on it at the time before I bid on it, so I just kind of had a roundabout price I was willing to pay for it. Nobody wanted this thing. Nobody. I won this for $1. $1, you guys. And this is why I say of things like flying under the radar. Now, granted, I didn't know exactly what it was either at the time, but I do now. I found it, and it's actually a Bitossi piece. I have heard of Bitossi, but I didn't really know much about it. Now, this was marked Italy on the bottom, so I figured, you know, it probably was something nice because, you know, it was marked Italy and just the way that it looked type of thing. So yes, this was a very pricey piece at one point. I feel like one sold for $200-ish on eBay already, and I think I did just recently, like 3 days ago, I purchased a WorthPoint account just so I could look up some of the things that you know, you can only look so much up on Terapeak. So I wanted a WorthPoint account, and I did find it on WorthPoint, and that's how I came up with my price. So I listed mine on auction with a starting price of $199.99, and it does have a bid already. So I don't know if I'll get any more than that for it, But even still, I'm perfectly happy with that price since I only paid $1. I still can't get over the fact that I won this for $1. It's insane to me. So it just goes to show you, with auctions, you have no idea what things are going to sell for. Like, you may go in thinking like, oh, I'll probably win this or that or this or that, you know what I mean? And you'll find out that the stuff is, you know, selling for crazy high bids and you walk out without it. And then there's other times when you go in thinking like, well, there's no way I'm gonna win that, and then you win it for $1, and it's mind-blowing. It's so, I don't know, it's so much fun. Like, auctions, they're very time consuming to sit there all day, but at the same time, it's just fun and interesting to see the things that you end up winning and that kind of thing. So that's why I really like going, and I learn stuff constantly. Every week I'm learning about something new. So, you know, I learned a couple things just with the stuff that I won, you know, at this auction. So it's a really fun time. So that's everything though, for my winnings. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff, but it was a lot of really awesome things in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed. You'll have to let me know what you thought down in the comments, what you thought like the coolest piece was that I won. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.